Okay, so I'm recording with a new microphone, and maybe it'll pick up more of the nature sound. So I don't think about this often. Well, it has been coming up a little bit more here and there, where I'm glad. I'm glad everything disappeared. I'm glad I disappeared. I'm glad it all went. I'm glad the story of me, the idea of me, the belief of me, the energy of me, I'm glad it just all disappeared. I always feel like I have to preface things and just say that part of the key to this is really seeing everything that arises as life. The remnants of me, the story of me, whether it comes, it doesn't matter anymore. It's this, it's equally this. Even the resistance to it, it's equally this. And sometimes there can just be a sort of explosion that happens where you go back. You go back and you see the story arising, the feelings, the resistance, the thoughts against the thoughts. You just see it all for what it is. All equal life appearing that way. And you are it all. You're everything. It's a really beautiful way to live. And to get here, it shatters your entire world. And I really did feel like I lost everything. Maybe it didn't happen all at once. The grieving around different things happened at different times. Luckily, it wasn't all at once. And don't fall. But yeah, I'm so thankful. I'm really grateful. I'm just glad it all dissolved back into nothing, back into everything, where it's clearly seen that it was always everything. I know I repeat the same thing over and over, but I kind of find it nice because there are these apparent shifts happening in the body. You know, looking back now, there was a lot of personal stuff still coming up to be seen over and over, with love for the first time, with innocence for the first time. And it just took a while for it to leave when it left. It wasn't up to anyone anymore. And now it's so much more obvious, like so much more obvious, that there's no one. There's never been anyone. That the story was never real. That you never existed. My family never existed. All of the worry that I felt, the anxiety, the guilt, the shame, it never existed. It was never real. I never had anything to be ashamed about. And neither do you. Because even if, let's say, you've done something so-called horrible, can't learning happen from it? Do you have to hate yourself? Do you have to blame others? Does that cycle have to go around and around a million times before you see that it's simply what happened? And that based on the circumstances and the conditioning there, or whatever it might be, the tendencies of the body, can't you see that it just happened that way, and that doing better can happen in a really gentle way? You know, sometimes right now I think back of how much self-hatred there was here. Blaming of oneself, blaming of the other, and if someone had told me then, you don't have to go down this spiral. You don't have to constantly beat yourself up to do better next time. You don't have to punish yourself. You don't have to abuse yourself to do better next time. It's okay. Learning happens. This world is hard to live in. Being a separate self is really, really difficult. You did your best. Everyone is kind of doing their best. And sometimes I hate saying that, because what is the best? There is no best. Just circumstantially with everything. With everyone telling you different things, different ways to be, how you should have been, how you should be next time, how you could have prevented it, how you did wrong, you did bad. Most of the time, that is what we're getting, one way or another, even on the spiritual path. And here, it's so simple. It's just simply what happened. And your interpretation of it is not actually solid and true. That is one interpretation of what happened. I'm not saying to feel through it. I'm not saying to honor it. I'm not saying not to honor it. I'm saying that it's just simply one interpretation. And you can just learn, just simply grow. It's really hard to speak to everyone, you know, because it's not going to resonate with everyone. But whatever, this is the best I could do right now. But this is so unbelievably simple. And sometimes it was annoying to see people still telling you how to be, what to do, how to manage, how to control. What if the conditioning is just the way it is? What if you were never in control of it? What if trying to manage and control it, whether it be in a good way or a blaming way, meaning you take pride from it or you just make yourself feel guilty and bad about it, don't you think that that's the same cycle going around in a loop over and over and over and over and over? And what if it was just simply what it was? What if you took your hands off? What if you simply saw the body, beautifully innocent as it is, seeing that it will have the convoluted, twisted effects of separation still acting out, and yet it's still okay. It's still not yours. It's still what is. So, the thing is, I don't know. I don't know if this will be helpful to hear exactly where you are. It depends. It just depends. But for those that feel like they're ready to hear this, they're ready to hear the absolute simplicity of life. And that managing it in an idea and concept is never going to get you anywhere. It's just going to bring you on that loop again and again. You think you're going somewhere new, but it's always simply just this. Life's crazy. Not really, though. It's crazy in a different way. When there's just the unknown. It's like, wow, the mystery of everything. But in the personal reality, oh, it's just madness. It's madness and craziness in a different way. And not to separate it, because it is this. But I guess I talk about this because most of us want to sort of stop the suffering. Or see an end to the seeking. See an end to a better future. See an end to time. And the irony is that sometimes you can really fully feel through the suffering of that lifetime when the seeking is stopping. Because the seeking is avoiding the suffering to a large degree. And when there is this collapse of it that's taking place, sometimes all you feel is pure suffering, pure pain. Then you see how amazing you are, how strong you are, how amazing life is, how unbelievably unbreakable life is. That's the only way to really see for yourself. That you could get knocked to your knees over and over. Your heart is broken, wide open, over and over, in so many different ways. And you see that there was never any protection needed. You see that you were invincible as life itself. You see that in the total consumption into this ocean where you can no longer take a breath, you see that life itself was doing everything, was doing the living, was doing the creating. What did I just say?